Welcome back. On our interview segment, we caught up with a Nigerian American entrepreneur, Seun Mafa, who also happens to be an artificial intelligence expert. He spoke to us on a number of issues, including how to apply artificial intelligence or the need to actually apply artificial intelligence in all facets of the Nigerian economy to boost the economy and also combat climate change and other environmental issues. Hear him. Right, you're still on to environment today, and our guest on the show today is Seun Mafa. Seun Mafa is a Nigerian American entrepreneur and also an artificial intelligence expert. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Good to have you in, Collie.
All
I'm
right.
so happy being in your studio today.
All right. So quickly, when people hear artificial intelligence, they still wonder exactly what it is, and it is something that can be applied to all sectors of the economy.
Definitely. You see, there's this crazy norm out there that the coming of artificial intelligence is going to take people's job and stuff like that. But I said no. It's just a way to make things easier for everyone. In our governance, in our real estate sector, in the main IT field, artificial intelligence is needed because it makes things way more easier. Platform that came out a while ago that makes you to write a whole book in 2 minutes. I mean, years ago you have to wait for years or months to write books. So artificial intelligence makes things to be easier. In Collie, in 1993, when the World Wide Web, WW, the internet came up, some people were saying, oh, it's going to make people lose their job. But we're living in it right now. People aren't losing their job. It makes things easier. Likewise, the advent of artificial intelligence will really make everything easier. Imagine being an architect, you can design a whole house or a whole estate in a couple of minutes with artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is a good thing. And I believe in our continent, Africa, in our nation, Nigeria, we should embrace it. We should work with it, and we really should encourage our young people, the young minds, to really get into, IT and get into artificial intelligence. It's a good thing, and we should all embrace it.
Can you break it down for our viewers? When you hear artificial intelligence, what exactly does that mean?
Well, this is just a machine learning, thing that you can easily use once you incorporate it into your daily lives. Let's take, for example, ChatGPT. You could easily use ChatGPT to write a whole book in 3 minutes. It's something that people use every day. You could easily, as an architect, you could use, some of this advent of artificial intelligence to write a whole thing you want to do what takes like months, it takes literally hours now. So artificial intelligence makes you do things faster beyond the human mind or comprehension.
Is this something you learn in school, like a subject or a discipline, or is this something that you see in all sectors of the Nigerian economy? How do you get to become an artificial intelligence person?
I left the shores of Nigeria when I was a teenager. I was so young then. I traveled overseas. Initially, my initial field was not, I studied in international relations, but when I got overseas, I see that there are very few jobs that people do and stuff like that, and that kind of drew my attention to the IT field. I started off as a programmer, then I see some progression. I got into machine learning, and the machine learning part, I see that, wow, this is really easy. I've worked with different departments. I worked with the US government also for a couple of years, the Department of Defense. And the US kind of embedded into me my love for IT. And that's where I found myself, I'm a startup owner. I've employed several people, and it makes life much easier. So IT is a gateway. If possible, you learn programming languages like Python script, JavaScript, and stuff like that. And once you can get into that, you understand better machine learning, the way machine interfere with our daily lives. I'm talking about the interference of the human mind with machine itself, and it makes things easy. It's like 1, 2, 3.
Now, these days you hear about climate change, which is a global phenomenon, and the rains are here again, and you hear people and even agencies of government talk about uh, early warning system and stuff like that to ensure that people get ready and don't get drowned, when the rains come heavily. Is IT, important in some of these sectors, including in the environment sector?
Definitely, Nkolly. I believe IT is of great importance. I mean, look at what happened in the state of Texas, maybe like 2 years ago now. The entire state was shut down. And this is just because we weren't prepared enough. I mean, it happened in Nigeria, I believe, sometime last year when there were massive flooding. But with the advent of artificial intelligence, which is machine learning, it will be able to read ahead some of the coming thing related to weather. If there's going to be flood, there's going to be some of these things. So I believe that incorporating machine learning into our weather system will really help us a lot. And Nigeria is a country whereby we don't prepare on time. So I believe that incorporating machine into some of this preparation will really help us to prepare ahead of time, most especially for the climate all change thing. Like in nations of the world now, they are kind of ahead of things, trying to prepare for some of these things. Some countries that had winter before, they have lesser winter now. So maybe in coming years to come, I don't know, I'm not a weather expert, but we might have snow in Nigeria, because this whole thing is just in cycles and changes. And how do we mitigate some of these things? We need to get into the future. The human mind, we might not be able to go physically into the future right now, but with the advent of artificial intelligence, it can project what it's going to be in the next 100 years, in the next 150 years, in the next 20 years. And that's why we really need to push our system, our scientific system, into the machine learning process so that we can determine what is to happen in the future.
Do you see government buying into this artificial intelligence at this time, or is there a way you think people like you can push this into the country?
Africa will react, not proact. Things happen before we start to act. But in the Western world, they proact. They have vision 20 years time. They have vision 50 years time. They have 100 years to come vision. So I believe that our government in Nigeria, and that's one of the reasons why people like us in diaspora are kind of like trying to come in as technocrats into the economy system now, starting businesses in Nigeria and trying to make sure that we start to proact this thing. Because, I mean, my family members are here, my friends are here, you're here. You understand? I don't want something crazy to happen in the near future just because our government didn't prepare. So I really want to encourage our government, maybe the incoming government also, to really key into some of these things, because we need to be proactive. We really need to be that, because our environment, except if we have any other environment to live in, we don't have any other place. This is our environment and we need to safeguard it. And one of the best ways to safeguard it is with artificial intelligence.
So let's look at heard the president-elect say things like, government is not run alone. He's not going to be doing everything, so he's going to better people who would help him do the job. If you are asked to come in as a technocrat to join in building this nation, those of you who are in diaspora, would you come?
Oh, I mean, if the opportunity arises, it's always been my dream to serve my fatherland. I mean, we might be Nigerian, American, Nigerian, British, Nigerian, whatever, but this is still our home. We don't have any other home. Fine, we might have houses, mansions over there, but I still regard Nigeria as my first love. Nigeria is still home, and I believe in Nigeria. If I'm invited to come do whatever thing, I believe I'll be glad to serve my fatherland. I believe people should come in with the intention not to just eat from the national cake. I believe that's what they say all around, but to really come in and be able to add something positive to the economy. So definitely, yes. Yes.
So let's see how you want to bring in this artificial intelligence into the country as an entrepreneur that you are, to ensure that our teeming youths who are, seeking for jobs will key into this.
our school system needs to be highly improved. And one of the things we're working on in my company is that we're trying to implement some of these programs into the daily lives of the students. You know, we can really improve the livelihood of our students, you know, train them how to use some of these equipments, and also encourage them to get into the STEM system. I'm talking about science, technology, engineering, medicine. It's something that every student and let me even push something through. Some of the courses we go to school to read, I mean, I did international relations, but I saw that when I got outside of Nigeria, it was, I don't need it. I mean, there are very few jobs that you use international relations for. So the thing is that, and I believe the VP of our present vice president was saying it, that some of the courses we go to school to study are becoming obsolete. So we need to up some of our game. We need to up some of our skills, and that is where some of these things comes in. Some of these things are something you can learn in 6 months, in 3 months. Why go to school for 4 years to learn them? I mean, I believe in online learning and stuff like that. Some of these things can be incorporated into our daily lives in Nigeria. And I see that, you know, if we can really implement some of these things, Nigeria will really 10x where we are right now.
So how far has the company gone in doing this? Have you started, or are you about to start? How do you intend to do that, incorporating this into Nigeria's schools?
Well, we started sometime last year, and, you know, we've been doing massive push out there. And I believe that within the next couple months, couple years, I mean, we will push things out there and stuff like that. But we've been supporting the local communities in several ways, in and out. I mean, we're in Abuja right now. We had an outreach a few days ago to some students of a particular university, and we intend to also go into more universities to sensitize them on machine learning, on how to implement science into some of those our daily lives. I mean, daily things we do normally. Because implementing machine learning into some of these things why spend 8 months doing something when you can spend 2 hours to write a whole book?